Hey bud.
So I have two cats and a blank phone case. Let's combine the two of them. Today's mic holder is brought to you by a discarded gargoyle from Last DIY. If you want to check that out, I made a Harry Potter book nook, and that is up there. My cats' names are Weasley and Pippin, so I was thinking I could incorporate Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings somehow into the phone case. I thought it'd be a really cute idea to actually put my cats in the costumes of the characters that they're named after. So for Weasley, he'd be wearing Ron's sweater or jumper if you're a Brit. And then for Pippin, I would give him the classic Hobbit outfit that Pippin wears in Lord of the Rings. The cape, the scarf, the shirt, the jacket, the whole shebang.
So since my phone case has a clear back, I decided that the best course of action was to design and print an insert that would fit directly into the back. I figured this was better than painting directly on the case because I'm prone to making silly little mistakes. And also this way I can easily change out the design later if I want that to be the case. That was a stretch.
Time to switch over to Man's in her hammock because I'm going to be talking about my process as I show you a time lapse. Welcome to my hammock. Oh. So the first thing I did was actually take a picture of my phone case so I had the actual dimensions that I'd be working with, and then I just loaded that into Procreate, and then I added pictures of my cats that I took previously and just kind of placed them around onto the phone case to see where I kind of wanted them to end up. And once I had the idea for the costumes, I also wanted to include the fandoms in the background somehow. I started toying with the idea of maybe adding the Burrow and the Shire in the background, but once I placed it all out on the page, it ended up just looking a bit too noisy, and I really wanted the focus to be my cats. So I thought to keep it a bit simpler, I would just choose plants from the fandoms and have them scattered around the background. Once I had my first draft mapped out, I went over again with a red color. I don't ever use black in my line art. I just find it to be too permanent and too scary, so I always use a color. And this step, I basically mapped out folds and clothing and whiskers and fur and just really started focusing on the details of my drawing. For the Harry Potter side of the background, I knew I had to include a mandrake, and I thought it'd be super cute if Weasley actually held the mandrake in his tail, so that's just me adding that in now. And then for the rest of the plants, I just kind of looked up plants that are in the Harry Potter universe. Gillyweed, of course, is one that I added, and then there's like a Mimbulus
Mimbletonia.
But otherwise, I just kind of picked ones that I liked. I added just some mushrooms and mythical, magical looking plants. And then for the Lord of the Rings side, I had to consult my husband because he is the Lord of the Rings expert in our family. And he told me to use these leaves and also the flowers of the Gondor tree. And also include a tobacco plant, because they smoke a tobacco leaf. I also gave Pippin a pipe because I just thought that'd be so funny. PETA, please don't come at me. This is just a drawing for funsies. My cats definitely have different personalities. Weasley is very much the baby. He's only 2 years old, and he just gets into everything. He's a little mischief maker, so when I drew him, I really wanted to push that feeling and give him these big ol' eyes and make him look a little dopey because he's an orange cat. They just have a couple brain cells. You just can't blame them. They're so cute. Pippin's definitely the grumpier old man type guy, so I gave him a bit more angular features and gave him the pipe. I just think it adds to the whole old man vibes. And then once I got the line art finished, I started going in with color. This part was really, really fun for me because I could really just zone out. I didn't have to worry about the lines because I had all that mapped out, and I could just get into the nitty-gritty of those details. I added all the beautiful markings on my cat's fur, and getting into the clothing was a little more difficult because I had to consider folds and shadows and stuff like that, and also textures. But overall, it was really fun to do, and definitely was good for my practice because once I started animating, I kind of just hung up all other creative outlets, so I haven't really drawn much in the past 5 years. So this is really a good project to get me using those muscles again. Another thing I liked about this style of drawing was that I didn't outline all the characters and flowers and stuff in black, and that's something that I used to do all the time. And the reason I did that is because I kind of wanted to just give it a softer look. So when I got to the outline part of the drawing, I just kind of used the colors that were around that part of the drawing, and I didn't want the outlines to stand out. I really wanted the colors to be the focus of the drawing. When I got to Pippin's outfit, his was a little more complicated than Weasley's because he had a cape and a scarf and a jacket and a shirt, so I had to figure out how that worked logistically. I couldn't fully figure out how a cape would drape over a cat because there's not many cats who wear capes, so my reference pool was a little limited, but I think I figured it out in the end. And then I worked out all the little details, gave Pippin his whiskers, gave their eyes a little bit of shine so they would pop out of the drawing. And then I got to the mandrake drawing. I used this photo as a reference. I think it's actually a toy mandrake. All of the real mandrakes that I saw online were ones that were pulled out of the pot, and I wanted to see how they would fit half in the pot, so this was the reference image that I used. And then the reference images that I used for the background I think are actually all created by different artists, so I will link those down below. When I was figuring out the colors for the plants, I didn't go exactly with the colors that the artists used. I wanted to kind of keep the color scheme a bit cohesive, so I wanted to use more pastel-y colors. For the greens, I used pretty much the same shades for all the plants because I didn't want any of them to be like standing out that much. For the background, I really just wanted to be the background because I really wanted the focus to be my little kitties. And then for the background color, I ended up going with this gray-blue color. I just thought it would be nice to have something neutral in the background. And then here I am just adding little details to the plants. For the rest of the Lord of the Rings plants, I guess a lot of them don't really have a big significance. Besides, I think some of them are characters' names are named after some of the plants. But I just kind of chose ones that I liked and that I thought would go well with the rest of the color scheme. A lot of whites. I chose the more white flowers because I thought that they'd be a bit more calm and neutral, and they would make a pretty pattern. And then, of course, for Pippin's pipe, I had to give him a little bit of smoke because he's a smoking boy. He's the smoking boy. Again, PETA, not real, not real. And then at the end, I kind of wasn't fully convinced that I liked the gray background, so I switched it to brown. I ended up printing off both versions just to fully see which one I liked better. And this is the finished drawing. After that, I printed them out, cut them, and eventually just decided that I liked the brown better. It really just made all the other colors pop because it was a darker color. And yeah, and now it's time to show you the final result of the phone case. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, life is meant to be enjoyed. So go enjoy it. Bye.